Warning, this machine does not know the difference between metal and flesh, nor does it care. That is really progressive and forward thinking. The world could use more robots like this one. It feels like the only thing you hear about robots in the news these days is them stealing jobs and doing drone strikes. They never focus on the good things they do, man. It's messed up. Hi again, guys, and today I want to show you one of my favorite subreddits. That sentence doesn't get less embarrassing each time I say it out loud, but it pays the bills. It is r/OSHA this time. If you don't know what OSHA is, it's a US government agency. It is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is meant to set and make sure safety standards for workers are being followed. Inversely, the subreddit named after it is all about people doing the exact opposite of being safe. If you enjoy this video, there will be this big card at the end that takes you to another one like it. And did you know that less than 20% of y'all are subscribed with notifications on? If you sub and hit the bell icon, you'll never miss an upload, and you can always undo it later. Here we have an incredibly cool and awesome setup for holding these wires above the road. Nothing wrong here. I don't really see how this is an issue. They clearly put cones down so you know not to hit the stick. This feels like one of those gravity-defying sculptures you see someone putting together on TikTok, where you can't figure out how in the natural laws of the world they managed to get that thing to stand up. And it might look unstable, but as an American worker with a 45-minute commute who is already in a rush and late to work, if I have to choose between taking a 5-minute detour, God forbid, to go around those wires, or going next to them and accidentally knocking over some shit-made cable towers, I'd personally chance the death by electrocution to save the 5 minutes. Remember, this is an emergency first aid station, and to make sure nobody uses it if there isn't an emergency, we've locked it. You just have to hope that the person with the code either isn't gone or the one who needs the first aid. You're telling me nobody's learned anything from that whole triangle shirtwaist factory nonsense? Jokes aside, the caption does say, in case of emergency, just die, Lamau. And sure, in a life or death scenario, every second counts. You don't want to have to struggle with a lock to open it. But that's literally the dog shit combination lock every kid used for their gym lockers in middle school. It's not gonna take that long to break it off. The dude who's bleeding out from rebar sticking out of their chest can wait a few seconds. Stolen from my Facebook village group. Having someone refer to the place they live as a village, and saying their village also has a local Facebook group is really neat. It's a first for an out-of-touch city slicker like me. I'm just not used to the rural part of the country. But hey, Christmas time is coming around to show me the magic of living in a small town with no public transit. Man, it sure is great not being able to walk where anything is. Getting back on topic, half these OSHA violations have felt like natural human instinct. For some context, when I played in the creek behind my neighborhood as a kid and you needed to cross over the water, you made the fuggliest bridges ever. They were absolute dog shit. You grabbed logs, spare planks of wood, little pieces of paper, and hoped that you could walk on water, and then you plopped them over top the creek for you to walk on for the next 3 years of your life, and you made do. I feel like this whole ladder scenario here is what I would do if you told 10, 11-year-old me to solve this problem. And the thing is, I would feel smart as shit for coming up with this death trap. I used multiple ladders to get up there. I'm so smart. I would feel super clever. But now that I'm an adult, it's apparently impractical and irresponsible decision. Since when did growing up mean you had to stop having fun, man? How to briefly invoke a state of panic in your supervisor. YouTube, it's paint. That guy is just posing, okay? He's perfectly fine and for sure not dead. Though I understand why you'd think otherwise. That fake blood smear is very convincing. The dude who spilled that paint must have felt really dumb until he realized that it's in the perfect splatter form to be a prank. The supervisor must have loved it so much he won't let them get rid of it. Now it's like a tourist attraction where they say a famous person was murdered and people lay down to take pictures next to the blood smear. It's $5 for half an hour. It's a steal, really. Never forget your hard hat and gloves. They may just save your life. And look no further than this guy. He is standing on this single metal girder without a care in the world because he's got his safety equipment on. He knows that no matter what happens up there, he's taken the right precautions to make it out a-okay. It's like how in a plane crash, if you jump right before it hits the ground, you'll be fine. You've also got this fella fixing an AC compressor on this ledge. I'm really happy that these are all still images. That way nothing happens to the people in them. If it was a video, they would be able to move and might fall off, man. It's scary. The fact that this is a whole genre of image, though, just a dude standing on a tall, dangerous place, makes me believe that whole lunch atop a skyscraper thing was actually man existing in its natural state for the first time. Look at how relaxed these guys are. Just chopping it up, having a smoke on lunch break. We were meant to be high in the sky in active danger at all times. And if you thought the picture itself was crazy, this is what the guy who took it looked like while taking it. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I never noticed this one in our trucks before. We aren't allowed to wear helmets in the truck. Apparently your head could snap right clean off. Warning, never wear helmet with vehicle in motion. Helmet weight can break your neck in a crash. You can die or be paralyzed. I'm not sure if I should be concerned that this guy has been volunteering as a firefighter for what seems like a while now, and they're only just noticing what I imagine is a relatively important warning. It feels like the type of warning that shouldn't be left as a small sticker next to a bunch of other similar looking warning signs, and instead should be projected on the inside of every surface on the truck. Jumping an elevator will cause entrapment for extended time. You will be responsible for all the costs associated with your rescue. Average rescue and repair bill is $1,000. Fucking Christ, that is rent. I know you all have a friend who would see the sign and and take the jumping thing as a challenge. I know who mine is, and they know who they are too. But if the building owners have printed this warning directly on the elevator, and it's happened enough times that they have an estimate for how much it will cost, they're doing this on purpose now. They are expecting people to do the stupid thing they were told not to do, and have made the elevator extra sensitive to it. That way they can squeeze as much money out of them as they possibly can. I know so because some elevators are the exact opposite of that one. Literally right after reading this post, I found this next one. If elevator does not move, do a small jump. It should move after. Now this is an elevator I like. It's not such a party pooper. It wants you to have a good time while inside of it. You want to jump around and see what'll happen? Knock yourself out, champ. Listen, you gotta live a little bit, even if it kills you. After reading those last few, I can't be the only one who feels like these warning signs have been getting a little passive-aggressive. It's as if they're talking down to me and think I'm the specific type of idiot who has to be told exactly what I'm not allowed to do and what will happen if I do it anyway. It's kind of demeaning, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are, OSHA? Luckily though, I found a warning sign that talks to me on my level. Like we're both equal amounts of stupid. Warning, don't be a dumbass here at the workplace. OSHA doesn't require the sign, but they do require many stupid signs that say close to the same thing. Listen, you might think it's crude and unprofessional, but it covers a whole lot of ground that we had a bunch of specific signs made already for. It is efficient. Frozen Fury. Are mascots covered by OSHA? This feels more like a question suited for the WWE. I don't think you're gonna get much off this subreddit. The way that fursuiter is eyeing the ground makes it seem more likely he'll get down by jumping on top of someone than by falling off. I saw this ad on YouTube the other day, and it's a guy cutting a plank of wood he's standing on with, guess what? A fucking chainsaw. To the OP who made this post, I bet you were giggling to yourself, just kicking your feet in the air behind you while typing this on your phone in bed, saying that you saw a saw, you clever little fuck. You probably think you're so smart and whimsical because of this one, buddy. Well, you're not. You make me sick, you slash the Sofa King. From your username where you tricked me into cursing, I can tell you do this kind of bullshit often. Newsflash, everybody around you think it's annoying, and they hate it. Your friends hate you for making puns when they get breakups. Your family hates you for making puns when one of them dies. You make so many puns around your pets, they're starting to realize what the English language is and hate you just for teaching them like this. It's not charming, it's not cute, and it definitely is not new or groundbreaking. You know what is groundbreaking? That saw you were using to cut the thing you were standing on. See what I did there? Just looping the whole thing back around. Yeah, we have fun here. If you can't see OSHA, they can't see you. It's true. You can only get written up for a safety violation if the hall monitors know who to write up. At this point, it becomes a battle of attrition. The inspectors can't remove the workers from the ladders safely. That's like their whole thing. So they just have to wait for them to come down. And if the OSHA guys leave before the dudes on the ladders poke their heads out, then they're home free, man. Okay, what do we got here? Some stuff in front of some doors? I'm sure these doors aren't that important since people don't seem to mind putting so much stuff in front of those doors. Do not block doors. OSHA violation. Main electrical access. Main refrigeration access. Not an exit. The further you read, the more the signs feel desperate to not be blocked. This is not an exit, man. This is the main electrical access. It's the main fridge access, for Christ's sake. What are you doing? Stop! 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 Scrolling Reddit in a shredder. It's true, most Reddit users end up dying in one of those things. And I get it, the dude chilling in there is unsafe and on the phone, not paying attention to the safety hazard, but I was lying. Redditors see all that and think, he must be doing what I do on my phone. Go on Reddit. Like, brother, I am sorry, he is not doing that shit. He's probably watching TikTok like people with real jobs do. You know, real jobs like mine, being a YouTuber. And here are the classic workman's tools. More fire and less fire. Hate all you want, but I like the simplicity. This is a very kid-friendly way of describing what each of these things does. If there's a fire, the kid will know the immediate utility of the red one, and if they want to make s'mores, they know they should be grabbing the blue one. You pussy-ass millennial parents might say something like a safety hazard and it's dangerous and it might kill them, but even you can agree kids need a safe space to make mistakes, right? How are they going to learn proper safety if they don't lose a few fingers in the buzzsaw when they're young? Whatever. Good enough, and it's this nightmare of a welding job. Listen, I'm sure that is plenty dangerous on its own and shows a real lack of care from the person who did the job, but it's worse that it had to look like that. The weird sack-looking balls all welded together makes them look like bug eggs. It looks squishy, it makes me feel like a bunch of spiders are gonna come crawling out of it. This is the feeling folks must get when they see some berries in the wild they know are poisonous. They just look like that shit. On the job, safety begins here. We have worked 69 days without an OSHA recordable injury. Damn, these guys managed to hide their injuries for that long? Good for them. It's a shame they have to vote on who has to get injured so it doesn't tick over to day 70 tomorrow. It is OSHA guidelines that on day 69 you have to reset the counter. Either someone has to get hurt in an accident or you hurt them yourself. It's kind of like the purge where all the injuries the workers were holding off on getting in the last 10 weeks, they have to get on day 70. It's the only time they're allowed to get hurt, so they have to get it out of their system when they can. How to transport a pane of glass. This is definitely what I look like holding a glass block in the back of my friend's minecart. I know what's happening in this picture is dangerous, but considering the circumstances, this is probably the safest way you had to move the damn thing. It might even like increase your safety on the road because you get a little more elbow room through the busy street. Nobody wants to be the person who shatters that glass on accident and then gets all that glass in their eyes. It'd be really annoying, man. It's just a hassle. This is probably fine, and somebody just hung up a skull and crossbones in front of what I assume is a door leading somewhere not so safe. This was posted in October, so it's probably a Halloween decoration, but I would personally vouch that this should be the new OSHA standard. For too long, we have been warning people with these two-dimensional signs planted on the side of things that don't work for shit. They require looking slightly to the side to see what the do's and don'ts of this machine are, and more inaccessibly, they involve reading. That's so stupid. It's like you want these people to die. But here, we have a three-dimensional shape, a skull and crossbones that's much more noticeable, and that tells you this thing is dangerous. It's like a little warning marker in a video game before you walk into toxic waste. In my opinion, this is a really effective do not enter thingamajig. And you know what? I've been trying to end videos on good notes recently. I think somebody making an innovation in safety instead of ignoring it outright for once is how I'm gonna wrap this up here. That card I mentioned should be on screen. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Remember, don't go after anyone I talked about today because that's cringe, and this is all meant in good fun. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I have some skyscrapers to stand on top of.